What you're looking at is Battle Sound He-Man. Now, this one doesn't work. This is the gold variant, by the way. This is with, I forget, Dragon Invasion. And there's a silver version, the Diamond Ray of Disappearance, which is somewhere in my tool shed, in my supply room. So this one, it has, look at this. You can tell how old this is, the VHS tape. So this one doesn't work, but this one should still work. Let me see. That's... Now these things have swinging action and battle sounds, and I can always replace the batteries if I want to take them out of the box. And you can't have Skeletor without his old girlfriend, Evil Lynn. Evil Lynn was, of course, what is it? She was raised as a baby, so Keldor took baby Evil Lynn in exchange for her safety and the Ram staff. And then when she grew up to know that she had a father, Keldor wiped her memories away, and then they met, quote unquote, for the first time, like in the cartoon. And then what happened? As soon as she remembered who she was, and that Keldor took her memories away, and that she couldn't fit in with her father and become a good ruler, she wanted to kill him. So after, she took no sympathy after the fallout with the Council of Elders, the attack, and so she took care of him. That's her sad life. I wrote that, by the way. That's my fan fiction. Better than the fan fiction that I'm hearing about for Masters of the Universe Revelation. Now, before I get into I haven't watched it. I've only watched baby clips of it, little bits and pieces, the interviews on Netflix. I have not really watched this show. I don't have Netflix, and I don't plan to get it. I do have Netflix on my 3DS, but they don't work. So let me show you another figure, if that's all right, if you don't mind. We got Whiplash here. So I can really recall a time when, going back to when I was 5 years old. Now, He-Man, don't ask me why this is out of package, but with He-Man, why was it so important? I guess, well, He-Man started out as a failed attempt to get Conan the Barbarian rights for Mattel. And then I forgot if it was MGM sued Mattel over He-Man, but they won the lawsuit. He-Man was not Conan. So my memories of He-Man go back to the cartoon, the toys, the original toys. The Filmation cartoon, the little comic books, the Viewmaster. If anybody remembers, there were two different Viewmaster stories for He-Man, but the original one had the original comic book art from the very first 81 mini comics. Down, Tila, or be burned by the rays, or some shit like that. Like, I could recall so the Viewmaster had 3 discs on them, okay? And you would see 7 stories with the left and the right stereoscopic eye, and you would see, that's how we all know how Viewmasters, these were the original VR. Before VR, we had Viewmasters, and they would show you He-Man stories. So the stories, the toys, and the cartoons, this was all before I got into the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. I got my NES 3 years late. My parents were poor, but I did play a bit of Atari, and I had toys, and played a bit of Candyland, Monopoly. But my gaming started with He-Man. And I recall some of the first figures were like Whiplash and Trapjaw He-Mans. I had 2 He-Man. I remember when they reused the heads, the rubber He-Man and Skeletor heads for pencil tops. I remember like the cookie cutters or the sand, like things you imprint in the sand for like, what is it? Like you can make sandcastle imprints with get Grayskull and He-Man and Skeletor. You can make cookies if you wanted to. I remember the Golden Books. I have one of the Golden Books my mom sent to me. I'll probably show that at the very end, along with something else that, just so many different things. I'm going to show you some other things tonight. But yeah, man, it sucks. This is Trapjaw. I've shown you Cronus and Keldor. Here is, only because he reminded me of Squeeze. And if you remember Squeeze, he had these long arms. So this is Snake Crush Skeletor. And so my memories of He-Man as far as the toys, and She-Ra too. And they were a great time. You know what I mean? Like, you go back, you watch those, you watch the '87 movie with Dolph Lundgren, you watch the 1990s space sci-fi fantasy that most people forget now. And then you fast forward to 2002 with these toys and the cartoon. Great stuff. Val Staples. And I remember when Val Staples, he wrote the comics. He was really involved in the sort of the printed form of He-Man. It was great. The Mike Young productions, Mike Young, Val Staples, they all worked together to give us a new incarnation of He-Man that was like the best so far. Really was. And here's a little bit of Stratos. I had like Stinkor. I didn't like Stinkor because I thought he smelled bad, but I was a kid. What do I know? I don't know everything. I'm trying to know everything. You can tell I'm an amateur YouTuber with 150 something subscribers when I don't have a professional mic here, but that's okay. I don't worry about every single thing I have to have. And so, and then Mattel, first of all, the toys weren't selling. These toys were not selling very well. Mattel shut down the cartoon. So said fuck you to Mike Young, then shut down the toys, then told Val Staples to stop the comic books, then proceeded to go after Val Staples with He-Man.org and try to own the damn site. And like 7/8 of the audience was like, yeah, we'll see about that. And they backed off, okay? Because Mattel, when they did their 2000X He-Man website, it was just bare bones shit. It wasn't in anything. It was just, here's this stuff. Okay, this is what the show is. But Val Staples really went the extra mile. So when you see He-Man.org, it's he with a hyphen man.org. It's two words separate. And it says this is the one place where you have the power. And that's important to remember this. The fans have the power. I wonder what Val Staples thinks of the new He-Man cartoon. Or not even He-Man cartoons. It's the Revelation cartoon, but we'll get more into that. There's Zodak, who was race swapped here. This is good. King Grayskull, no. But I like Christopher Judge as Zodak. He's got that Stargate SG-1 into him. He's got that look. Yeah, man. So I've been looking at the reviews. Now, when Clownfish TV, they basically talked about Teela being the Teela show. And this was 1 or 2 years ago, maybe over a year ago, maybe at the end of 2019. And I remember seeing that thumbnail where she's laughing and Prince Adam looks like shit. They're using old memes, right? So Clownfish had talked about this, Geeky and Neon. Not Geeky, Candy. Still remember you. You've been gone for a long time, but we all remember you, some of us. And, then that Star Wars girl and Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers, everybody else picked up on it. Mecha Random, everybody else has picked up on that stuff. But in the back of my mind, after The Last Jedi, having read the comic book Star Wars Legacy with Kate Skywalker, I said, I expected Disney to do this kind of shite. I expect Disney to go and corrupt everything with Star Wars, so I wasn't surprised. And when I saw Kevin Smith, just seeing the way he was. Now, maybe when he lost all that weight with liposuction or some other thing, those brain cells disappeared. Because the big old fat Kevin Smith I remembered hated John Peters for what he was trying to do as Superman. And now he has become John Peters. Look at this one here. This is Clawful. This is the right Clawful. Look at that. Well, it's like 7 or 8 inches tall. I swear to you, he's 7 or 8 inches tall. These are some of the statues I got. Because, the only thing I didn't like was that there were no action features. But there's Clawful. He is very tall. If you see, here's Rattlelord too. But if you put them together, Rattlelord doesn't even compare to size. Doesn't even compare. His head would be where the top of his chest is. So yeah, it's messed up. What was going on behind the scenes. Then I saw what happened, and I saw what was going on as we went along. Some people were reviewing these things. Now there were a couple of guys that honestly and you can like the show. You can like Revelation. You can like what's going on as far as the conflicts. But from what I heard, seeing from Grace Randolph, from Geeks and Gamers, from Clownfish and etc. The Masters of the Universe had very little time to be on screen. It was the Tila show. He-Man, these are all spoilers right now. He-Man dies, Adam dies. It's really sad. And Orko dies, and Skeletor is Joker. They have a Joker and Harley thing going on where Harley needs to be away from Joker. So Evil Lynn and Tila need to be away from the men. Tila's mad that she had secrets kept away from her. But she's supposed to be the fucking sorceress, right? I mean, isn't that true? She's supposed to be the fucking sorceress? I mean, here is Tila, right? Here is Tila. Lisa Ann Belay. I actually tweeted Lisa Ann Belay to see what she thought of what was going on. Because Lisa Ann Belay isn't on Twitter very often. She's not on social media that much. That is the hottest Tila ever. Check that out. That is Tila. Now, Lisa Ann Belay doesn't look like Tila. She's cute. I mean, Lisa Ann Belay is cute, but I mean, this is fucking Tila, man. I mean, she kind of looks like a singer. I remember, I forget the singer's name, but she kind of has that look. She has that sort of 18-year-old Elizabeth Hurley look. She looks fantastic. Yeah, I mean, she looks great. Some of my figures have dust on it. Nothing I can do about it. This is Tila, not the Revelations version, okay? And this is Orko. So, you know, you got to appreciate some of the hard work other people have done. And let me tell you, all these, it's 5 episodes long. The new toys are pretty good. I actually like the new Revelations Battle Cat, okay? So I like some of the new toys. But 5 episodes, 2 seasons of 5 episodes, that's not a season, okay? That's 2 movies. So what you should have done was made 1 movie, Revelations Part 1, and then Revelation, like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, right? So that's what they should have done. Or is that, yeah, the Deathly Hallows is the last chapter of Harry Potter. But, yeah, man, that's just ridiculous. I think there was a mini game that you did, a magic disc game that you did with the original Orko. I call him Urko because he sounds like Urkel from the old cartoons, from the 2002 cartoons. And there's She-Ra. She-Ra. There we go. I got a couple of these exclusives. And if by chance Geeky ever finds my channel, this is the one you can brush the hair. Not just the original one, but this is also the one you can brush the hair. This is how thought to detail they were. They really paid attention, okay? This is, you see got a little comb in there, just like in the original figure, okay? The newer ones don't have that. The 2021 She-Ra does not have, like she has plastic hair. Like, why? Like, yeah, there she is. And like I said, it's, like I've done most of my collecting. I'm not terribly angry, and I'll show you. Like, this is, I can't find Hordak. I'm trying to find the Hordak statue. Here's Grizzlor. But, it's like, this is Grizzlor with real fur. Real fucking fur. This is 4 Horsemen 2002 Grizzlor, who only showed up, the Horde showed up only briefly in the King Grayskull storyline. And that was it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of sad. What can you do? What can one do in this situation? But you collect as much as you can. I used to go to the Mattel store a lot and pick up toys and things. That was a fun time. We go from Grizzlor to, move him out of the way for a moment, to Roboto. Uh-oh. The light went out. What happens? All right, let there be light. And there is light. I had to go and charge the other. I have a solar-powered light that I'm using. You gotta use solar energy, right? It's the way of the future. And there's the way of the future here. That's Roboto. Roboto is not really much in the cartoon, I hear. So I'm not hearing good things about Revelation, okay? And to me, I think changing the narrative. So they changed Tila up a bit. And in doing so, they fucked up Prince Adam. Prince Adam is supposed to be dead and He-Man's dead? That's messed up. What are you doing? I mean, weren't things supposed to be different? Weren't they? I mean, weren't these two supposed to get together? They did in the comic books, all right? They did in the comic books. These two are, I remember when my cousin Gabriel was alive, okay? He used to take, I think it was the He-Man though, not, and he used to put them together and make them kiss. That's when we were kids, okay? So why is Tila go? Why does she have a black girlfriend? I say black and not African American because there's no Africa. Uh, Even though Queen Marlena knows what Africa is, uh, she's on Eternia. So she has a black girlfriend, could be a white girlfriend, but she has a girlfriend. But what about Adam? Like, what is that about? So this is never happening, at least not in the new cartoon. And everybody was right on YouTube. It's not a continuation of the old '83 cartoon. It's sort of a reboot, retcon reboot, I guess. There's Merman. Um, I find this, it's like they said, like you have Kevin Smith who turned into John Peters, who saw a great IP and decided to use it for pandering to the gay and blacks and minorities and say, oh, look, see, here's this thing that you must like. And then you have fake critics or critics who want to be, who are failed writers and they just want attention. So they say, oh, this is great, hurrah, hurrah, on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, whatever. It's corporate drivel. I don't really give a shit. But, and to me, honestly, I don't get like, I mean, Mexicans, we get worked up about different things. White people, they love the drama. They love to say, oh, look what they're doing, these corporations and these things, And I feel the same way, but I just don't care anymore. And I'll go into a little bit why, okay? Because I still read my comics. Now there's King Hiss. Shall we end on King Hiss? Because I have more toys. Okay, I have a Cyclone. I have Fisto, who's called Battle Fists. I have all these other toys up here. Okay, I have Ram Man. I know Hordak is somewhere. I have Clamp Champ. Rio Blast, I think, is the only one the Four Horsemen never worked on. I have so many different toys. I was going to get King Grayskull, but I could never get it at the Matty Collector store because it was always sold out. That's how it was. Those toys were always selling out. Even after 2002, in the late 2000s, I could never get them. Sucks. Anyway, this is King Hiss, and here's some more toys. I have Rattlor, but they came out like DC Comics kind of picked up where the stories left off. Now, these are different writers. These are not the same writers on the Val Staples payroll. So when you see, if you were to go back and look at the 2002 comic books, you see a different staff of people. But if you read volume 3, 4, and 5, and then you skip to Eternity War, you're going to see an almost complete story. That's including the icons of evil and such. You'll see like somewhat of a complete story of how all these characters lived and died, right? And I'll even throw in the Injustice crossover too, because that was a gay old time with He-Man trying to see the good in Clark Kent and evil Superman. But yeah, this to me it was over. And let me show you. For those of you who still like Tila and Adora or Andora, the black girlfriend. Okay, let me show you. I'll show you the very end. If you're not going to like this, okay? But this is a spoiler for those of you who want to read the comic books. Because I'm telling you, what's going on with Tila being in charge and being all tomboyish to the extreme of being butch, dyke Tila. Is that what's going on, dyke Tila? Let me tell you. Let me show you this, okay? I was trying to find another, but this is Adam and Tila, okay? This is them. This is a DC Comics. This is not the 2002 version. This is the actual, like kind of loosely based on the 83 version, or maybe even the older comic books, okay? So, I'm not sure if you can see that proper. So, here they are together. Now you get to choose who you should be. Oh, here we go. I don't want it. I don't want to be, I don't want to, but you are not at peace. I can't be, Tila says. I feel the deaths of all the snake men, every one, and the loss of every soul in this war. My bond to the magic of the world has left me a painful legacy. It will fade with time, Adam says. Tila says, I don't want it to. I don't want to release this pain. I want to do something with it. What am I supposed to do? And Adam says, You have your whole life you try to live up to things. Your father's ideals, your mother's as captain of the guard and then sorceress. Now you get to choose who you should be. It's your future. I just hope I can be part of it. This castle will be the center of our new world, but it needs you to make it alive. I need you to be its heart. Whoa, no pressure then. You know where this is going, and this is such a nice ending. Though I probably would have drawn it differently, but there it is. That is what it's all about. Let me tell you that. So fuck Revelation. That is what it's all about. And just to throw in, and there's more. Of course, Keldor comes back. Evelyn brings him back. But that is what it's all about. Let me tell you that. And let me show you one last thing because I'm in a He-Man mood, and I'm going to show you something else too on a separate video. Maybe it'll be a short. It's related to Keldor, but we'll get into that. This is my old comic, our old kids book. Oh my gosh. You can't really see this stuff, but that's some of the art as I'm looking at it right now. Some of the stuff. Let me see if I can find something really, really good. Well, there's the merman stuff. The light's not showing us everything. This is great. And yeah, I have not opened this book since I was a child. My mom sent this to me, and I put it away, and I said, well, I'll look at it later. And this is now. Later is now. I have not read this. I have not looked at this book since I was 8 years old, and I am in my 40s right now. Can you understand that? Stop messing up stuff, Hollywood. Kevin Smith, you are now John Peters. You are trying to make Batman out of Superman. You are trying to put Chewbacca or an angry dog with Lex Luthor. Stop. You're making it worse for yourself. I mean, last time I saw fat Kevin Smith, he was complaining about Southwest Airlines, and then we saw skinny. I mean, he has a beautiful daughter, wonderful looking woman, but Jesus. So we'll end it on this image. Thank you for tuning in. You have the power. You have the power. Just letting you know this now.